Hey everyone. So, new balance patch came out. I'm gonna be saying my thoughts on it. And I only know some of the blaze changes because they were putting that on Reddit and I had a little quick look at the top. So, right off the bat, we have tanks, bruisers, healers, melee, and ranged. I'm expecting, well, you kind of know blaze. So, maybe some May buffs. Diva nerf, Gazelle nerf, Hogger nerf, Imperious nerf, Ragnar's buff. Oriole buff, Dukov nerf, maybe Brightwing nerf, Kerrigan, Valerian buff, Cassia, and Tychus nerfs with the rest maybe getting buffs. Alright, so right off the bat, Blaze. So shield amount increase from 530 to 590 is going to help out tank Blaze. And the neural stim pack cooldown reduced. Well, this is going to make it more competitive, I should say, because if we look at Blaze's talents, usually people are taking new habits, which once you collect 15 regeneration globes, you get unstoppable for 2 seconds with your trait, and collecting regen globes reduces the cooldown of the trait, and so that's really good. They rather than nerfing this talent that a lot of people take, they're instead going to be buffing the two other talents people don't take. So yeah, the adrenaline stim pack is taken for offlane blaze sometimes with in order to clear waves faster. Grill and kill is damage bonus increased from 20% to 35%, so that's the reward for when you increase oil spill's ignite duration after damaging enemy heroes with ignited oil spill 60 times, you're gonna get plus 35%. Plus 35% damage. Now, adhesive petroleum slow increase from 35% to 40%. So that's the enemy staying in oil spill when it's ignited. Usually see crossfire. I like adhesive petroleum. It's just overall you are reducing the slow of the oil from 50 to now 40% when it's ignited still. So yeah, duration increased from 2.5 to 3 seconds on the nanomachine coating, and that is enemies standing in oil spills, ignited oil spills have the attack speed reduced. That's pretty cool. So he's going to be a bit better against auto attackers. While in a relatively good place, many of Blaze's talent tiers have one or two talents that are heavily picked over the third. We're trying to shore up the alternate picks to be more competitive, which should lead to more unique ways to play the fire bat. May, Snowblind. Buff, so just straight off the bat. May hasn't really been picked in a while in CCL. I know in Storm Division NGS, she was pretty instrumental to Chili Mountain winning the division, but she's not in a great place right now. And you're never really scared of Linnea. Heavy pack cooldown reduced. Alright, we gotta look up May. Where is she? Tank. Alright. Heavy pack. Increase the duration of Snowblind slow by 100%. So the cooldown reduction, and every time Blizzard damage enemy here, reduce the cooldown of Snowblind by 0.25 seconds. So that's going to be increased pretty much by 2, so she's going to be able to Blizzard more often. At this tier, I see mostly heat transfer taken when she is played. Just the increase in damage and the health she gets each time she stuns or slows a hero. And each time Blizzard... Oh, new functionality. Each time it damages an enemy hero, gain 3 mana. Okay, so if you want more mana regen, then heavy packs might be better. And the bonus final stun damage on Ice Storm. So when Blizzard ends, it's going to deal more damage with that talent. That's good. I mean, it's nice if you want to wave clear. And if you can consistently keep people in your Blizzard. Flush Ball Q, bonus damage increase from 50% to 75%. So, okay, so that's the extra damage versus structures, and it disables structures. Adjust functionality on Cold Front. Okay, Reduce the cooldown of icing by 4 seconds. It may enter through a blizzard while icing is active. The cooldown of icing is reduced by 5 seconds and she gains 80 mana. Before it was just if she enters the icing, cooldown is reduced by 8 seconds. Okay, so now it also just passively reduces it by total 9 seconds, and if you go through the blizzard, and if you don't, it's just base 4 increase. Usually you see crystallize taken at this talent tier. So again, probably same thing as Blaze, they just want to make it more competitive. I am interested, does that? 70 mana, okay, so you actually gain 10 mana. Well, no, you don't gain 10 mana. I was gonna say you gain 10 mana if you icing into your blizzard, but in reality, you're still, like, while the ice blizzard does cost 70 mana, and you say you're refunding the blizzard, icing still costs 70 mana as well. So you're not coming out ahead, but it'll help with some mana problems. Ice wall, cooldown reduced by 20 seconds, and mana cost reduced from 60 to 50. Yeah, I see a lot of avalanche, which, whether good or bad, that's just what I see most often. And so yeah, mana cost reduced from 60 to 50, and cooldown reduction increased from 100% to 125% on Flurry. And Flurry is, on her own blizzard, she gains a bunch of attack speed, and cooldown refreshes on faster. So the cooldown's going to refresh faster while May is standing in her own blizzard. I don't think that'll make it better by cooling servos, because you can go cooling servos plus heat transfer at 1, but which will it stacks, like, well, it doesn't stack, but each time you slow enemy hero you gain 18 health, and every time you auto attack hero you slow them by 20%, so every time you auto attack you're gaining health. It's just really good. There's a few talent issues has been seen in the tank meta recently, so we're giving her some buffs, particularly various talents that aren't seeing as much play as they should. D.Va, oh, straight health nerf by 100. That's a lot. Neck health regeneration reduced from 4.69 to 4.48, so it's just less tanky. And bunny hop buff by a decent amount. Damn, that's almost a 50% increase. D.Va's a very unique hero due to her ability to go in and out of her mech to survive situations where other heroes would perish. When she's too tanky, she can be overly frustrating due to having to die twice in order for the enemy team to remove her from the map. We think she's a little too beefy in this regard right now, so we're lowering her mech survivability. We're also building bunny hop's damage so that better competes with micro missiles. Yeah, I mean, micro missiles is taken a lot more often. I still think at lower tiers of play, i.e. my tier of play, I'm still going to see a lot of D.Va. But this will be nice, so she feels less oppressive. Damage reduced on the Explodium charge, which is, by nerfing the Explodium charge, it's also a nerf to Gravel Bomb. And damage reduced on Gravel Bomb, so they're just reducing the Wombo combo. Bonus range reduced from 50 to 30%. And that is the, I believe, the turrets can auto attack multiple things and it increases their range. Superior schematics. Yep, have 50% increased range. So that's how I believe is taken most often. I'm not 100% sure, but it is a very good talent. Gazel's still too strong, seeing overly high participation rate. To tone down his power, we're lowering his exploding charge damage and reducing the power of some of his highest performing talents. Alright, Hogger. Looks like a lot of changes. Let's get Hogger. Health reduced by 80. Health regeneration reduced. Meat duration reduced on the loot horde, so it'll be harder for him to get the meat. Healing increased on W. So that's kind of, so slight nerfs. Buff to a talent. I think at 1 we usually end up seeing, yeah, it's bones to gnaw, I'm pretty sure. It creates a chunk of meat while it lands. While under the effects of meat, gain 10 armor. When I said meat duration reduced, is that... while loot horde expires, chunk of meat falls over... Oh, for 5 seconds. So so meat is going to be less good, essentially, because it'll be reduced. Instead of healing 15% maximum health, it'll heal only 20% maximum health. And that means Bone to Gnaw is gonna it gets a kind of nerf because the duration is gonna be less. On the proactive, cooldown reduced, healing per second increase. So not only is that nerf to Bones to Gnaw, they're also buffing the other two talents. Bones training any heroes, terrain increased. What do we usually see there? I think it's aggro range. Bonus against non-heroic enemies reduced. Bonus rage against enemy heroes reduced. So aggro range is nerf, and then other talent buff. Attack speed bonus increased, and garbage fire loot horde cooldown reduction reduced. So it doesn't have as low of cooldown damage reduced. Okay, so some nerfs still with big talents. Ortopult is seen a lot of the time. They're buffing Shockwave. I don't play a lot of Hogger, so I don't know if Shockwave's in a bad position, but I mean, this will definitely make people take Shockwave more often. Is it Dust Devil? I think it's Dust Devil that we usually see it here. Arm bonus when below 50% rage reduced. Arm bonus when above 50 rage reduced. So just armor bonuses are reduced. Slow duration increased on Pummel from 1.5 to 2 seconds, making that more competitive. Damage bonus increase on Kablooey, which I assume that is a instant easy throw dynamite. Okay, so mostly just augers being slight nerf baseline, and well, I guess a decent nerf baseline, and then some changes to his talents to make them more competitive. Ceratolo, his win rates climb significantly, while perception of potential power also continues to improve. We're looking to a mix of buffs and nerfs to largely address the looming talent issues while also keeping his overall power in check. Alright, Impaling Light. Damage bonus per Valorous brand reduced from 125% to 75%. So that's if how many stacks they have of your Valorous brand, it deals a bunch of bonus damage. So now it'll deal, your Q will deal less. Sovereign armor amount reduced from 25 to 20. So this is the E gives armor talent, your molten armor. What's the name of that ability? Yeah, molten armor. So it gives 25 armor, now only give 20 armor. That was usually what people took at for. Seen as very good. And shield amount reduced by 150. So that's a decent nerf to angelic armaments. Angel was shrugging off enemy damage too easily, all dishing out too much of his own, and the other bruisers were getting jealous. Okay. Ragnaros Meteor at 1 damage bonus per increase from 5% to 6%. Is that a quest? Let us find out. Level 1. That is a quest. Each time enemy here is hit by the same living meteor, they take 5% increased damage from it. Yeah, so that's... So it's not a stacking quest, but... Okay. So he's gonna... WD's gonna deal more damage. If living meteor hits enemy here at least 5 times, then reduce cooldown by 7 seconds refund 30 mana. Previously, it was each enemy hit by the living meteor increases damage next to the living meteor by 20%. Okay, so now instead of having one like strong living meteor after living meteor, it'll be having more living meteors. If we didn't have molten power, strength is often an upcoming cast after meeting conditions. This version should give more immediate reward while also being more attractive for Zuljin. That makes. Anduin, level 20. So this is a buff to Holy Word Salvation. Additional functionality. If Holy Word Salvation lasts for its full duration, then reduces cooldown by 60 seconds. Holy moly ravioli. So what it does already is grant allies invulnerability and stay protected. Doesn't affect Anduin. Yeah, it's kind of lackluster. So putting it down to 60 seconds means it's an 80-second cooldown, so you can do it 20 seconds later. That's really good. So if they can interrupt your Holy Word Salvation, it's just like a quick match, a bad game, or even in ranked, if they aren't able to interrupt it, then That's great. This might be a situation where, because they're buffing the level 20, we might see more holy. We'll probably see more holy word salvations from Anduins in general. And desperate proactive cooldown reduced. Oh, that's the you heal for a bunch, but you're stunned afterwards for 2 seconds. You're experimenting with the change to light stirring to allow for Anduin to have higher highs when using Holy Word Salvation to its full potential. When it gets a full cast life, it will now have greatly reduced cooldown, allowing it to be used multiple times in a single fight. Okay. Oriole talent change. Where's Oriole? Level 4. So this was when enemy hero is detained, stunned by detainment strike, the movement is slowed by 50%. Oh, it's not repeated offense. I got the 2 talents mixed up. So now instead of movement speed is slowed by 50% after the stun. The damage strike slows enemy heroes for 20% for 2.5 seconds. Slow in duration doubles on enemies as stuns. Okay, so now it'll just slow by default. Yeah, no, that's good. Although it is an overall nerf if you... Well, just in raw slow, it is kind of a nerf if you stun them, but you are getting the slow for 5 seconds after, instead of for 3 seconds after. Hey, Brandon wasn't keeping Oriole as safe as it should, especially when compared to repeated offense, and we want to be a dependable option. Yeah, I don't think people are going to take it over repeated offense, but, you know, I'm not a healer player. Maybe people... Side is great. Adjust functionality. Increase pixie dust range by 1 second. Okay, so... Okay. Pixie dust range. Pixie dust duration by 1 second. Okay, well, soothing mist and blink heal eyes with an active pixie dust for 75% more. And previously, it was it safety dust? Yeah. Burning heals eyes with an active pixie dust for 75% more. What's the difference? Safety dust boosted all Bargain's healing tools, however, its healing was overflowing when paired with phase shift and hyper shift. I see. And not in a way we consider exciting. We believe this change keeps the core of what makes safety dust fun. Okay, so instead of being able to put the E on someone, the pixie dust on someone, and then phase shift to them for a buttload of healing, it now will only work with Soothing Mist and Blink Heal. More NATOs adds another charge at 20. Okay. Well, I don't think we're gonna be seeing it in CCL anytime soon. But hey man, this is a buff till Mega Egos Deckard. Love more NATOs. Alright. Lucio. Level 7. Shield not increased, so that's the shield if they get hit by your Q, right? Being enemy hero grants 35 shield. Yeah, so bit of a higher shield. Boombox no longer has a duration, is pretty sweet, so you can really just put your boombox in the back line, or, you know, the front line if you're not worried about being destroyed. Or even put it, okay, so hear me out. Curse Hollow, that's a terrible example. Tomb of the Spider Queen. You go down to the solo laner, you put down a boombox at level 7, and then you go back to the mid-top lane. And now, you can heal the solo laner from across the map. I really like this change. I think that's super cool. High 5 nerfs. Okay, no. Cooldown increase per hero for 5 seconds. Okay, mana cost is reduced, so he's gonna be less hungry. Just functional like heal Lucio for 125 grants himself unstoppable for 1 second. Okay, high 5 buffs. Never mind. I saw the first thing, and in my mind went immediately. They nerfed him. They didn't nerf Lucio's high 5. The reason why I was concerned is because usually you see a lot of high level Lucios go or high-ranking Lucios go for the sound barrier because it's just so good. But now this will grant some extra sustain to Lucio. One problem with High Five was it wasn't keeping Lucio alive enough, where sound barrier does that. Now Lucio's a little bit more selfish in the sense that you can just high five people to heal yourself. Up to 11 is no longer an activated ability. Where is that? Activate to extend the duration of amped up by 2 seconds. Additional functionality now affects Lucio. No. Increase the duration of amped up by 1 second. Okay, so amp it up is just now 1 second longer with that talent. Normally it lasts 3 seconds, so you're upping it by 33%. What are you competing with? Max health, healing. Hitting enemy here reduces the cooldown by 0.4 seconds. So you need to hit people. No. There's some math that needs to be done. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do the math, and I'll make a separate video doing the math. But yeah, I don't. I'm too lazy to figure out the different, like, when is up the frequency better than up to 11. But yeah, so that's kind of a buff to up to 11. Instead of only being able to do it once every 60 seconds for 2 seconds, now it's 1 second longer. I assume there was a talent disparity, or a popularity disparity between the talents of that tier. Cooldown reduced from 75 to 60 seconds. Okay, this is the grants Undying, right? Activate for all of the allies affected by crossfade, become unkillable for 1.5 seconds. So that's a big buff. So now it'll keep everyone alive for 1.5 seconds. Like, they can't die. Little task dingo for everyone. So if you're getting dived on, or you're just having a problem with, like, burst damage, then you can keep them alive and then amp it up near the end of the summer anthem to bring them back up to higher health. Mixing Fire. No longer increase the duration and amp it up by 1 second. Reduce the cost and cooldown of High Five by 50%. Okay, so cost and cooldown of High Five by 50%. Okay, so now it'll be 10-second cooldown for everyone's High Five, and it'll cost pretty much no mana. It'll cost 15 mana. So that's pretty good. I assume those were both, well, let's see what happens. We did a pass on Lucio and found some places where he could make his talents more interesting and fun. We're particularly interested in the change to High Five work on Lucio, helps with his ability to keep both himself and his teammates alive. No longer increase duration of amp up for 1 second. Yeah, I'm just thinking about a summer anthem. Like, do we take summer anthem now? It'll keep you alive for a bit longer. But if they're able to CC you before it happens, or put damage over time. No, damage over time isn't as bad as isn't as good against Lucio as it is against Testingo Zuljin. So, because he can just heal up. So I'm really interested in seeing how that goes. Number of enemy heroes hit for final crest reduced from 30 to 25. Let's figure out what Stukov talent this is. He hears with weighted pustule. So yeah, so now that quest will be able to be finished faster. So reduce cooldown of weight plus additional 2.5 seconds and remove his mana cost. So if you're having mana problems with Stukov, that'll help. But if you were taking that talent now, it's just gonna be better. I don't know if this makes it better than reactive ballista spores, but we'll see what happens. Oh, cooldown increase. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, it might be better. And low blow, looking at him deals 100% more damage. Health threshold for bonus damage increased from 30% to 50%. Low blow buff. So that's pretty cool. Stukov's gonna get some more increased damage against people that his team can lock down if he puts his lurking armor underneath them. Q biotic armor reduced. Healing pathogen grants 15 armor to his targets while active on them. Deadening biotic kills, which increases the bonus to 75 for 2.5 seconds. Huh, okay. I guess biotic armor was dominating that talent here. Our enemy heroes hit required reducing 10 to 8 on it hungers. What is it hungers? Increase the range of Lurking Arm by 20%. If Lurking Arm damages enemy heroes 10 times, its cooldown is reset and its mana cost refunded. Okay, so you're going to be able to Lurking Arm more often with that talent. You don't need to have them stay in the... How often does it tick? Tick rate four times a second. So you just need to have them in it for 2 seconds as opposed to 2.5 seconds in order to get the benefit from, well, not only the range, but like the cooldown reset and mana cost refund. Some of Stu Buffs' talents have been too inconsistent to be considered viable, so we're making some small buffs to them in order to increase competitiveness. We're also reducing strength of some of his overpowering talents to keep his overall power in check. Kerrigan, damage bonus increased from 50% to 100% on Queen of Blaze level 7. Melee assassin, Kerrigan. Really need to set my phone to do not disturb. Reduce the cooldown of Ravage by 2 seconds and increases damage to minions immersive by 50%. Hitting as opposed to hitting a hero with Ravage grants a charge of Ravage. So usually I see Boundless Fury taken, and I like Boundless Fury a bit more, just because you can get like a free Q off on every hero at the start of the fight. I guess if you're clearing, Queen of Blaze might be better, or for longer fights that don't last more than 10 seconds, but last long enough that you're going to be able to Q more. Let's see, what's a cooldown on that? Charge cooldown 8. So it'll be every 6 seconds you can Q. I guess if you want to Q a specific target, if you want to ravage a specific target repeatedly, or cooldown reduction increase. Yeah, so if you want to ravage a specific cooldown target repeatedly, then this might be better. It's probably going to be better because you can do it more often in a drawn-out fight. I think he might take Queen of Blades now. We're too scared of Queen of Blades being too powerful when we redesign the talent, so we're tuning it a better match to original vision. This should enable her to clear ways much more efficient, while also allowing her ravage to be up much more often. Yeah, I mean, okay. Alright, Valerian, energy cost reduced on Sinister Strike from 30 to 25. I think, if I'm correctly, most of her abilities cost 25, but Sinister Strike was the one that costs a bit weird. 30 energy, 10 energy. Nope, never mind. I wonder what I was remembering. Well, Sinister Strike is now going to be 5 energy cheaper. Energy cost reduction reduced from 15 to 10, so they're putting some of the power from Relentless Strikes into the baseline Sinister Strike. You're still going to be as powerful with Relentless Strikes, but now you don't. If you felt like you had to take Relentless Strikes for the energy cost reduction, now it's a bit more spread out. You might not feel like you have to take it. Yeah, but if you're particularly concerned about energy cost, that is the only talent at that tier 4 energy cost, but it can enable you to take other talents now. Thistle Tea, cooldown reduced from 40 to 20 seconds. What is that? Activate instantly restore 100 energy. Activating Thistle Tea does not break vanish. Yeah, I can see why that might not have been picked. That's a very long cooldown for just getting 100 energy. Smoke Bomb armor increased from 30 to 60 at 20. On Smoke Bomb, Valerian regenerates an additional 40 energy per second. Okay, yeah, so that'll help with against AoE damage. I think that makes Smoke Bomb really good, that level 20 upgrade. And most Valerians I talk to, this is purely anecdotal. I don't see Valerian played ever when I'm watching competitive Heroes of the Storm. But I have 2 friends that like to play Valerian. They both like elusiveness a lot. So I wonder if they'll take Adrenaline Rush now. Valerian feels too good to play with a low-cost Sinister Strike. What? She feels too... Is that a... I assume that's hyperbolic. Because otherwise they would nerf... They would nerf the cost energy... the energy cost of Sinister Strike. Yeah, that's weird. Feels too good to play with low-cost Sinister Strike. I see. Okay. All right. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. So she feels good to play. So you have. So they're saying that you. It feels like the player has to take the energy cost reduction. Now they're moving some relentless strikes benefit baseline, also helping out some weaker towns. Okay. Cassia, basic attack damage reduced. All right. So lightning fury damage reduced. Then damage reduced. Just Cassia damage reduced. She's tanky and she's dealing a lot of damage no matter what build you go. So they're just gonna nerf her across the board in slight ways. Not too much, I don't think. Well, I don't know. 5 basic attack damage at level 1. You know, at level 20, that's that's a reduction of. I'm stupid. 50. I don't know why it took me that long. That's a reduction of 50 attack damage. So yeah, that's decent. These are decent. I think these are like kind of baby nerfs, but if she wasn't first pick, first ban now, I wouldn't be surprised. You know? No longer requires the primary target to be a hero to slow enemies in an area. Oh, that's neat. So if we look at that talent, Phoenix. Naming it while phase 1 is active, basic attacks slowed heroes. Basic attacks against slowed heroes slow all enemy heroes in the area. So okay, so now if you use your Q against a minion and then you hit them with the phase bomb, it'll hit others. Part of phase bomb charm is that it deals 100% splash damage, opening possibilities for who Phoenix targets. This change relies inhibiting energy to that philosophy. Okay. Horrify can no longer be interrupted and put in a 10-second cooldown and stunned while it is being cast. Is that a Horrify buff? It's just a Horrify buff. Damn. Okay. Is never intended to have a long cast time. Due to its unique setup, we have had a lot of bug reports over the years due to being interrupted and putting a 10-second cooldown. But the sound's still going off. Okay. This change should fix the issue and get rid of the confusion. Gain all level 7 talents. That's always a fun pick. So Kelp Bass. I have so many tabs open. Twin Spheres. It was. Oh. Is that just a new talent? No. Twin Spheres. I was looking at 13. Twin Spheres. Verdant Spheres gains a second charge. Okay, so not only do you get a second charge of this, but you also get level 7 talents. So I think most people took Flamed Flesh. So now essentially that reads Living Bomb spreads to enemies deal 35% more damage, and kill the next 2 basic attacks instead deal 115 spell damage, and both of them hit enemy heroes gain a bunch of spell power. So that's going to gain more damage. I haven't seen Kelp played in a while, so I can't imagine so I don't actually know if this is good or not. Twin Spheres, I don't think people took that. But empowering ability is fun, but you feel Twin Spheres struggle to pack the punch and need to pay as a level 6 talent. But this provides the power it needs while retaining its flexibility and choosing which ability to empower. Okay. So if you want like just an overall pick, I assume in quick match we're going to see that talent picked a lot, just because it's fun to take all the talents. But on the other hand, Deathwings don't always get the level 20, get all of the level 7 talents. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Nazebo, Guarding Toads, adjust functionality. Hitting enemy heroes with Plague of Toads grants 30 armor for 1.5 seconds, stacking up to 4 seconds. I don't understand. 1.5 isn't a multiple. 4 isn't a multiple of 1.5. Okay. Well. Guardian Toads wasn't beating out Superstition in terms of continuous value or Ice Block in terms of immediate value. We think this will help compete while playing more to Plague of Toads gameplay. And yeah, okay. I have no opinion. Bonus damage reduced on quarterback. Okay, so this is the W. This is the grenade. It gets increased range and deals more damage. To get people to play W build, we overbuff quarterback, so it's getting back some of that buff. Okay. Zuljin, Recklessness, D. Basic attack damage bonus reduced. Additional function. While below 50% health, basic attacks against heroes gain additional stack of U1 axe. Ooh. That's fun. Let's see. Let me just get that out. Is that the... Yeah, that's the quest, right? Yeah, it was... Oh, no, that's not. Well, Zuljin is below... Okay, so while he's below 75% health against spell power, he's below 50% health, basic attack damage increased by 20%. Now it'll be basic damage increased by 15%, but if he's below 50% health, he'll get an extra stack of his baseline quest. You might see... Because what I hear is most Zuljins at high levels of play get Bone Slicer. Most Zuljins at low levels of play get Headhunter, but at high levels of play they get Bone Slicer. Recklessness, I assumed, was just for W build which no one plays, but this might make it better high levels of play in which skirmishing happens less often, although you do have to get to 50% health in order to get the benefit, but in team fights that will, like for the team fights that happen over objectives, that will help get you to that finish line. Damage bonus increase, wait, they buff Vicious Assault? Damage bonus increased by 35%. This was great. Increased duration of Grievous Mark's throw by 3 seconds. That's in total a 9-second. They just buffed. Okay. I mean, I like playing Zuljin, so I'll take it, but I'm okay. Additional functionality: slow duration increased by 0.5 seconds on lacerate. I assume that's just increased slow amount of each axe by 10%. And now the slow duration is increased, so it's longer. It's gonna slow more. That talent slows more and slows longer, and that's on the W. The double blades. Twin cleave, same thing. Double blades. Ensnare cooldown reduced. If no heroes a hit, reduce cooldown to 10 seconds. Okay, so ensnare buff. It'll be, you can do it more often, and if you miss, you can do it even more often. I usually get an ensnare. I guess people are taking Eye of Zuljin more, but I like locking people down, so that's nice. Additional functionality. Okay, additional. Basic accident to heroes marked with Grievous, so deal an additional 2% of their maximum health damage. Okay, so no mercy. Duels with attacks and good enemy heroes are marked with Grievous through ignore armor. You don't usually see that taken except against Deathwing and Garrosh. Garrosh's weakness. I made a meme a while ago in which I said it was like a Galaxy Brain meme, and one of the lesser Galaxy Brain things was like picking Zuljin against Garrosh just for this talent, because just ignoring his armor deals so much against him. But his other weakness, according to a lot of people, and I mean, it's a decent argument, is that you get percent health damage against Garrosh, so that when he gets low, you then use your percent health damage to ignore his armor and finish him off. This talent is just gonna crap on Garrosh. I'm not saying Zuljin now counters Garrosh, because he still doesn't have an escape, and Garrosh can Q and then throw him if Zuljin doesn't position that well. Although with Ensnare, you know, you can just Ensnare Garrosh before he gets to you. Unless he's Indomitable, in which case, it's a cool little skill interaction. But electing to level out Zuljin talent tiers gives an opportunity for some extra level. It's hard to feel Ericsson's benefit as Zuljin's health lowers, so extra quest credit might help it get noticed. Consistency alive, Zuljin is hard to be at level 13, so we've tackled these changes to help Blaster and Snare be more reliable. Comfortable with No Mercy being a more niche option in response to enemy hero compositions, but it wasn't as strong as it should be even in those situations. Okay. Okay, I can dig it. I'm happy. We get No Mercy. Was there? I'm gonna play so much Zuljin. That's a lie. I need to level up all my heroes in Quake match, so I'm not gonna be playing a lot of Zuljin. But if I was a smart man, and by that I mean if I was a smart man who loved playing Zuljin, which I do love playing Zuljin, but oh, bug fixes. Was there anything noticeable? Wrath of Cod now properly follows dot damage over time rules. Melting Point now properly follows damage over time rules. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you had a great time. If you have any idea, if you want me to do more of this, let me know in the comments. If you have any criticisms or things I can do next time, let me know in the comments. If you want to see me do the math on the, or just post in the comments the math on what's better for that. I already forgot what talent it was. Lucio, yes. Up to 11 or the other talent. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. That all helps the channel. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.